Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's complete. Another touchdown!
Cougar Sports Saturday. A presentation of KSL Sports.
Left wing for three. He got it again!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Here are your hosts, Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome on into Cougar Sports Saturday. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte with you. We are into the thick of BYU football season. Fall camp in full swing, week 1, coming to a close today. And we'll be having a lot of breakdown of fall camp week 1 here on the program over the next 3 hours. We'll have player interviews, a lot of insight, a lot of sound, a lot of commentary on this quarterback battle for BYU football. We'll also have just a lot of breakdown of BYU football here over the next 3 hours.
This is what we wait for all summer long, Mitch, to break down actual football, actual clips. We were both there all week long observing. I don't know. What do you think we got? About 40 minutes this week? 24
minutes yesterday. 13 minutes was the total on day 1. So 37 minutes, about 40 minutes, close to that, to observe this BYU football team in the 2025 edition. So we'll break it all down here over the next 3 hours. But we got to start things off in the starting lineup with some big news here on the program today.
The starting lineup. A look at the stories making headlines right now. It's time for the starting lineup on Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's been a wild ride for BYU sports over the last, 5-6 years. The tide has turned, I feel like, during Cougar Sports Saturday. Since June 8th, 2019, Matt and I began hosting this show together. And ever since, we've been holding it down on this program. Again, that's been more than 6 years ago. We've been holding it down every Saturday, noon to 3, here on Cougar Sports Saturday. But, Matt, there is going to be a change, and you made the announcement on social media. Give us an update for all of our listeners of the new direction for you and your exciting career.
It's a bittersweet day, Mitch. It really is. At various times, even now, man, I'm getting a little emotional because it's meant so much to me. But last time on Cougar Sports Saturday today, I'm going to be heading over with Greg Wrubell, Jason Shepard, and BYU Radio, helping out their pre- and post-game and doing some play-by-play when they are, have other obligations. So it was my childhood dream to be a sports broadcaster, and this first step at KSL has really helped me kind of fulfill that. I'm surprised I'm emotional here, Mitch, but it's meant a lot to cover BYU sports with you. I'm obviously excited for the next step. And being a part of the BYU game day coverage, that's I grew up going to games at LaVell Edwards Stadium and the Marriott Center, as did you. So I'm sure you feel the same way when you came here. It's a dream come true to be a part of BYU sports in any capacity. And, I'm lucky and privileged that the dream continues, but I will miss being on these airwaves, the legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio, breaking down the news every single week with you. So thank you. Let's have a fun 3 hours.
Yeah, let's have a good 3 hours, Matt. I appreciate that, man, and we are so happy for you, and we'll have some more kind of looking back on memory lane and over the next 3 hours, because you've been a huge piece to this show. I mean, I think this show, when we started it, it's always been a good place, but I feel like it's been taken to new heights and levels, just like BYU sports. Like, we've seen it all, where BYU was wallowing through independence. We navigated COVID, and like I said, we'll talk more about it, but we're happy for you, Matt, and congrats on that. I know Cougar Nation is going to be excited, and they're going to be excited to hear you on some exciting calls and broadcast, and they're going to still hear you on these airwaves too, coming up this fall and in the years to come. So we're happy for you, and we're excited for everything that's going to be coming your way in the future. And like I said, we'll talk more, kind of going down memory lane with this show here over the next couple hours as well. But like you said, let's talk some BYU football.
Yes.
BYU football fall camp. The quarterback battle is the hot topic, Matt. I'm curious to get your thoughts on what you think of this battle and how it's sizing up in your vantage point, like what direction BYU should go, because I think all of Cougar Nation wants to know who's going to be that QB1 in 2025.
I didn't get a sense of anyone being in the lead after the first week of fall camp. There were highs and lows from all three. I thought yesterday, which was day 3, second day that media could be there, but day 3 of practice, it was exclusively red zone work that the media saw. I thought Trayson Bourguet was a clear-cut winner of that period of practice. That has no bearing on what happened before that, so we don't know who was the star before the media showed up. But I thought he had the throw of the day on a beautiful fade corner out to Chase Roberts. And I thought, too, a sneaky underrated moment of the media observation period, Mitch, was the underneath route to Carson Ryan. That's a hard throw. It's not far in distance, but that is a hard throw. And he nailed Carson Ryan, heading away from him, exactly where it needed to be thrown for him to run and get yards after the catch. And at times, those intermediate throws have been off from all of them. There was a throw on day 1 where Bear had a similar throw, but it was behind. I thought it might have been JoJo. It was behind JoJo. It was a completion, but you got to be accurate on those throws. And I thought day 3, Trayson was the winner. Day 1, you can make the case that Bear was the winner. And McKay's had moments too. I think McKay has been the most consistently accurate from what I've seen, but he's also had the least amount of big plays. He hasn't really moved the ball as much as the other ones in the 39 minutes or whatever the number is that we've seen. So keep that in mind. This is a very small sample size that we're commenting on here, but I walk away from the first week saying there's no front runner yet. And when A-Rod yesterday said we need to give them more time, I think he's right, because all of them have had highs and lows. What about you, Mitch?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that day 1, I came away impressed with Bear Bachmeier. Now, Bear I thought was the best quarterback in day 1 in that media period that we saw, because he had the best throw. That was a completion to Chase Roberts. I thought that was a great ball. He was just very calm, poised, collected in that pocket. I thought he looked really good there. But there were also moments, too, in that day 1 where I thought he was the best QB, where he maybe held on for just a little bit too long. And there's moments to, it was kind of like the full true freshman experience. I'm with you, too, on day 3, where I thought Trayson Bourguet was really awesome. And I take into account, too, that during the first 2 periods that we've got to watch, days 1 and 3, we didn't get to see anything from day 2. Bourguet and Bachmeier have been the 2 quarterbacks that have been running with the first-team offensive line. McKay Hillstead's accuracy has shown up, but it's also always been with the second-team offensive line, too. Like, we just haven't seen him get any first-team reps with the offense yet. But, it's a fascinating quarterback battle, Matt, because this debate is just so unique in really BYU football history, where you've got a position change in the middle of the summer, and you'll hear coming up a little bit later from Jake Retzloff. He actually publicly spoke on his experience and time at BYU. Some interesting commentary from Jake down at Tulane. But, you lose Jake, and now you go to 3 quarterbacks who have never played it down at BYU. They're all transfers. None of them are homegrown high school guys. It just feels like, it could go any direction here. And I think there's an argument for all 3. I guess the big feeling I have is just I don't know if any one of these 3 guys deliver a 10-win season for BYU, but I do believe they're good enough to get BYU in a position where they could be an 8, maybe 9-win team. And if you get a few bounces go your way, then maybe suddenly you're talking 10, 11 wins. But it's just a fascinating battle that I agree with Roderick that we need more time to really learn about these guys. I think everyone's trying to learn everything they can about these 3 quarterbacks.
I think the other takeaway to piggyback off that is everyone around the quarterback room passes the eye test. I think you look at the defense, they are loaded. They are big. They are physical. They are fast. They have a lot of versatility and a lot of options. And then offensively, I love the talent around the quarterback room. There could not be, in my opinion, outside of maybe walking into the Georgia Bulldogs starting job or maybe replacing Quinn Ewers if you're Arch Manning and all the talent that the Longhorns have, there has not been a better position that a first-time starting quarterback has had at BYU in a long, long time. There's been some talented teams. I'm not saying all the other guys were walking into no talent, but there's not a weakness. Carson Ryan is living up to the hype. The offensive line is big and talented, and Andrew Gentry looks healthy and legit.
Yeah, he does.
The running back room, L.J. Martin looks fantastic. And Sione Moa, he's poised for a big year. I mean, there's really no holes in the roster. And that is a luxury for whoever is going to win this job to go in and know that I don't have to do some of the stuff that Taysom Hill was asked to do. I could just come in, move the chains, run the offense, keep the turnovers low, and if you do that, you're going to have a chance to win. Now, last year, there was a lot of games, Mitch, where the ball went their way, and they won those games. And that may not happen this year, where they're on the wrong side of a fake punt by Jalen Daniels, and maybe that happens a couple more times, and then the record's not great. But this is a team, you will not see a blowout with this team. I think they will be in a lot of games, and it's just been apparent being around the program these last 2 days that they have really stacked up the depth. They have gotten better in the weight room, and this is a good football team. Now, unfortunately, in football, a lot of it rides on the quarterback, man, and it's a big question mark, but whoever it is, they got some talent around them.
Let's hear from these quarterbacks next. We'll play some sound from fall camp as we listen to Trayson Bourget, McKay Hillstead, and Bear Bachmer. Let's get to know these quarterbacks as we take a break here on Cougar Sports Saturday, and it's powered by KSL Sports.